Hi, fourth graders. So I am here to show you what you're gonna need to make your own lantern. So this is what mine looks like. So you can see up close that there are two different kinds of paper. I realized through trial and error that if you had to use all this tracing paper, the see-through paper, that it takes a really long time to color in Sharpie. So I decided to use some cut out black paper, like black paper with a hole in it. Although, as you can tell, bigger hole on this one. So let's see what we're gonna need here to get to the point of the lantern. So to start, let's see, you'll need a plastic container of some kind. So what I've used is, this is an old like Milk-Bone container. I believe this one was like some kind of pretzel nuggets, or maybe it was cheese puffs. So a clear round container, plastic probably is best, but it doesn't have to be this big. It could also be a 2-liter would be a good one, or I think I had a container of those, whatever those beads that you iron. Like they came in a squarish, clear container. You want to make sure that you can take the label off of one part of it. There's no use in wasting your time trying to take the label off the whole thing. You just have to have one part, you know, where your words are going to go, where it is just see-through clear plastic. So that's one thing you have to kind of have at your house. And if you can't find one, that'll be something Mrs. Kremp and I will let you know if you need to borrow one of the tubs or something like that, when you would be able to come up to get those from the school. We will send home, or we'll have a pickup day, I guess. One of the things that you're going to get, and I think you get your t-shirt that day also, you're going to get a small square of tracing paper, as well as a black sheet of paper that has a hole cut out of it already. I didn't make the hole as big as you're going to probably need it to be, but that size of the hole is going to depend on what size container that you're making for your lantern. Okay, so we've got our black paper with the tracing paper. Then you're going to need some sort of light to go inside of your lantern. Remember that lanterns, they shine based on like the holes or the white spaces that are in there. So this actually was a gift from Mrs. Kremp, a little lantern. And so all the places, the little cutout stars, that's where the light can shine through. So we are going to be writing words on here, in any place that we want to shine the light through. So for our example, on our words, those will be the places that stay blank or white. And then everything else we need to cover completely so light doesn't get out from inside here. The kind of light that I have, I just had a set of like a string of lights. And that seems to work well because it makes it pretty bright. But I found some little 2 packs of tea lights at the dollar store. Those would work great, or a flashlight. Probably a candle's not the best idea, just because, you know, fire and safety and stuff. But in a real lantern, I'd absolutely use a candle. So you'll need some sort of light, and then a Sharpie. Black crayon does work, but I think Sharpie can get darker. But if you don't have that, I would suggest a black crayon before using even like a black Crayola marker. And then you'll need a piece of string, some sort of twine or fishing line to attach to the top of your plastic container. And I just taped mine on the inside. Whoops, the inside down in there. And mine's not even, I figured with the lights off, the darkness won't shine or won't show up, but whatever kind of twine or string you have. And then you'll need an assistant, somebody who can help you out as you are, once your lantern is complete, someone who can be the one holding it so you can send it off. So those will kind of be the supplies that you're going to need to create this, although the helper doesn't have to come in until the end, until you're like done doing all these steps. So I guess that really shouldn't be on the supply list. So ignore that part. Probably want some some masking tape or scotch tape, something like that too, to attach it to your clear container. So the next part is choosing your words and kind of the font that you want to use. This would be the biggest that you'd want to make your words. And thinking of the phrase, I am, again, so I am inspiring, or I am helpful, I am kind, I am supportive. We want to think of words that are actually light into the world. So again, saying I am athletic. That's a very good skill, but we want to think about how that's going to bring light. So do you want your athletic skills to inspire others? What do you want to do with, like, if you become famous as a singer or a dancer, some sort of movie star, whatever it is, what's the goal in that? Is it to be famous? So you're famous then, so do you want other people to look up to you? Do you want to be a role model for them? So again, we want to think of an I am phrase that is that's a positive thing, that is a light you can bring in. So I went with I am helpful, and you can use, you don't have to have a printer to do this, but I did print mine. And I just basically printed so that I could fit it within this square of paper. So you also could use just putting it up against your Chromebook. Pick a font that you like, and play with the fonts. It doesn't have to all be the same font. It can be, 3 different fonts or whatever you would like. You want your message to be clear though, so that it's bold and it can really stand out or pop out on the paper. So you want to make sure that you're making your message big, a big part of the space. And so if you put it on your computer, you can just lay this tracing paper on there lightly, and that's when I put a tiny piece of tape and just very gently, using a pencil, don't press hard, trace around your letters. Or you can try to freehand the letters, make your own font up. You could even do that like on a scrap of paper, so that then you could just trace onto here. So once you've traced onto your tracing paper with your really cool font, so after I've traced around my words, then I am going to use my Sharpie to color in everything except for the letters. You can choose to add something. I just chose to also put some stars in there, probably because I was inspired by this one. But I chose to add in just a few stars. I don't want to do too much because I don't want to take away from the words. So your step after that, you trace and color in all the other stuff that's dark. And then you're going to take your black paper that has the hole. You're going to need to cut depending on the size of the words. I'm just cutting a small hole so that you can use whatever size container, whether it's really big or maybe it's like a 2-liter and so it's a lot smaller. So you'll cut the black hole so that it's just a tiny bit, or so that this can still fit behind it. We don't want this paper on the outside, so we want to tape it on the back side. So here, let's see if I can show you my example here. So I just taped mine on the outside of the plastic bin. So much easier than putting it on the inside, because I tried that too. Of course, it's going to be extra sticky right now because I'm trying to show you. Take your time. There we go. So this is the inside of it. So if you were looking from the outside, inside. So I just taped it on the back of the paper, on the back of the black paper. So you can see that the tracing paper is smaller than the opening. And then tape it around the jug. So I've created that effect. So that black paper is just so that you don't have to color as much of the round space, because we want to black all of that out so just the light comes through here. Let me check my notes. I think that's all I have to tell you about this, although that seems like a lot, I know. I'm still going to, sorry, we'll retape that in a minute. I'm still going to put the lid back on so that when when I'm finished with it all and I turn the lights on within the lantern. If you have a lid, I would still put it back on just so the light's not coming out the top of the lantern as well, since we want the light to really just be coming out the letters. If you have any questions or you're confused about a step, please email me, bushg@sycamoreschools.org. I can't wait to see what you're making. I know they're going to be awesome, and I miss each of you so much this year. So I'm really looking forward to the videos that you're going to be making. All right, bye.